Yo, what's happening? It's the effing back with another episode, SideStreet Stories. It's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm out here in Vegas, just leaving the casino. Wanted to go put some money down on the game. Who y'all got winning? I probably ain't even gonna put this video up before the Super Bowl, so I'll let y'all know my next video if I won. How about that? But yeah, man, I was just thinking, sometimes I think it's not. That might be a cool story, you know. And I was thinking about back in the day, I don't know, this had to be probably 95, 96-ish, something like that. And so that was back like when I used to hang out with Andre 3000 a lot. He had got on like this kick of like riding his bike through the city, you know what I mean? I used to like to ride with him, I was still learning Atlanta at the time, shit like that. So that was like a good way for me to learn the city. He showed me how to get from the dungeon to like Little 5 Points and, you know, over to like Campbellton Road or like Greenbrier Mall, stuff like that. You know what I mean? He was on our little bike riding kick. So, I should have went the other way a bit faster. So yeah, so it's one of them days. He like, yo, let's ride the Little 5 Points. So I'm like, cool. That was like one of the coolest spots at the time to me. It was Little 5 Points because it was like, it reminded me of like Melrose or something like that in LA. So we ride down there. And there was a store, they used to call it, it's called a head shop. You know what I mean? It was like a store where you could buy like tobacco pipes and stuff like that, rolling papers, and almost like a skateboard shop for smokers kind of bar. You know what I mean? They call it a head shop. I think, you know, smoke shops or whatever. So we ride down a Little 5 Points, one of the smoke shops, and when we go in there, I don't know if it was like they have, I don't know if it was like a designer or something, a brand or something like that. Like everything in there, t-shirts, rolling papers, pipes, posters, everything in there was like alien themed. You know what I mean? It had like the green alien head on it with the big dark eyes, you know what I mean? Alien head. So I'm in there and I'm like, oh, this is fire, you know what I mean? Right, like, oh yeah, that is dope, huh? You like this one? This, you know what I mean? We going, I'm flipping out over this shit, right? So everything we looking at, Dre just buying like whatever it was. If it had the alien head on it, we was buying that shit. Like, it was even like skateboard decks and like just all types of shit, right? So we was buying it and whatnot. And I just thought it was some cool shit, you know what I mean? I remember the other thing he bought when we was down there was that bullet belt, because he wore it in like one of the videos. Like, actually that video, he wore a lot of stuff from that day, that when we went shopping, bought like that bullet belt. It was like cuffs, you know what I mean? The cuffs and stuff like that, and like a lot of the visors and shit you see, like the leather visors and all that kind of stuff was like, we got that day down at that store. I think that was Black Ice video. He wore that in Goody Mob Black Ice video. So we you know, we buy all the stuff and we head back. You know what I mean? We riding bikes, so we got backpacks on, all the stuff in there. I'm talking about bombs, everything, right? So we ride back to the dungeon, and there wasn't nobody really there at the dungeon. It might have been like Ramon after everything or something. Everybody was gone or whatnot. So we get back to the dungeon, and he like, everybody was at the studio already. Because at the time, I want to say they was working on the Set It Off soundtrack. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Set It Off soundtrack. So everybody down in the studio, that was when everybody used to go, you know, like anytime I was in the studio, like everybody show up. It was like the dungeon all over again at the studio. So we go down there. You know, I hop in the car with Dre. I remember he had like, it was like a Subaru Outback or something like that at the time. Well, I think it was a Subaru. I think it was Subaru Outback at the bike racks on top. So we jump in there, we ride to the studio. When we get there, everybody was there. Like, I know CeeLo was there. I want to say it was probably like the whole Goody Mob was there. Big Rube was there. I want to say Mr. was there. It was like a bunch of people or whatnot. So we start pulling all the stuff out that we bought up at the smoke shop. Like, yo, check this out. We throwing out rolling papers and stuff. Yo, roll up, whatever. So they get the conversation going. Everybody was like, oh, this is fire. Bam. And I want to say it was probably Big Rube when he was fucking with the rolling papers. He was like, yeah, we gonna turn it to some aliens, something like that. And that conversation turned into ATLiens. But at the time we were saying ATLiens. At least I thought, you know what I mean? I don't know how soon that shit changed or whatever, but I know it was like ATLiens at first, like Atlanteans, but ATLiens. And it was basically like, I remember it started off at first, they were saying like Kid, like, cause I wasn't from Atlanta, they like Kid is an ATLien. It's like people that came from somewhere else and moved to Atlanta, they was talking about. Eventually it turned into like ATLien, like being somebody, like a native of Atlanta becoming and or claiming that like ATLien or whatnot. But yeah, I thought that was crazy that's kind of like where it came from, was like that day going to that smoke shop. And you know what I mean, us just turning that into the movement of ATLien, you know what I mean? Like it just eventually became that. But yeah, that's where it started from. Going to the smoke shop that day, buying up all the paraphernalia, the t-shirts, the bongs, the rolling papers, and all that kind of stuff, you know. And after that, it was history. You know what I mean? But I remember that day vividly. Like I remember being in the studio that night when we was after we passed out all the shit, and we had a blunt rolling contest, like who could roll the best blunt, blah blah blah. And we was kind of arguing over it, because I thought I was pretty good at the time, but I knew I wasn't the best or whatever. But you know, I had my braggadocio on. I wanted to say probably Big Rube was probably the best at that time, of like rolling blunts. But CeeLo was like, no, I'm the best, blah blah blah. And he rolled a stogie. And I was like, you kind of cheated, because he didn't like roll the blunt, you know what I mean? He unpacked it whole and then stuffed it with weed, you know what I mean? And stuffed it smooth like it was rolled like an actual cigar or whatever. It is smoked good or whatever. I'm like, that's not really rolling. That's kind of cheating. It took like probably, man, I want to say it was a whole ounce in that blunt, man, because it was a fat ass stogie. But we was still smoking probably like White Owls and what else we used to smoke, like White Owls, Tampa Nuggets or something like that. Tampa Nuggets, something. Anyway, it was probably one of them. But yeah, man. SideStreet Kid, it's the effing. You know what I mean? About to go in here and get ready for the Super Bowl. I think I'm gonna have a fish fry. Got some fish I'm gonna fry up and some wings. Fry that up. You you know what I mean? Kick back, watch the Super Bowl. Wham! See if I win some money or not, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what's up, man. SideStreet Kid, it's the effing. I think this is episode 3. You know what I mean? ATLiens. You know what I mean? And yeah, there it is. That's what's up. Holla at me. And check out some of my music and stuff I got online. I got albums up online. I got content. I got videos on YouTube. But yeah, man, get with me. I'm on all streaming platforms. My last album out called The Effing. I got a new one coming out called The Lamo Forever. Check for that. You know what I mean? I got Good Kush, Good Drink, Bad Girls is up there. I got Wasted Genius. I got Push Button Future. I got content. I got music up, man. Fuck with me. You know what I mean? Y'all be talking about y'all fuck with SideStreet Kid. I bet you ain't got not one song on your playlist. It don't cost but $1 for one song, and some of y'all already paying for Apple Music or whatever. It ain't no excuse. Just go on there and download one of my projects. You know what I mean? Show some support so the algorithm can go in there and search me up, because the algorithm will not promote me to y'all. So you gotta put my whole name in there, SideStreet Kid, and whatever you looking for. But it should come up from there. I got all kinds of shit. So fuck with me. SideStreet Kid, the F.
Can't you see just you and me lost in this love eternity? Nobody else I don't wanna share. I just want you all to myself. Is it wrong to write these songs inspired by Venetian poems underneath the Martian sun?